What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, a.k.a. Jerrilyn Lake, checking in with my bestie for the resty.
Lene Monet, and you are listening to the She Said It First podcast and Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network. Period.
Yes, ma'am. Now, friend, before I know you had an early flight.
Child, because that's exactly where I'm going.
I know.
I'm not. I'm not going to go there. I'll just touch on it.
Okay. So before we hop into the hot topics, what irritated you this week?
The fact that as soon as I got here, everybody wanted to ask me, so how was the flight? I was up at 4:30 a.m. How you think the flight was? I ain't got no sleep. I'm running off a cup of coffee and girl, just edges. That's it.
That's cup of coffee and edges.
That's all I got to give. That's all I got to give. Okay? Talk about how was the flight? Girl, long. I'm tired.
Oh my God.
But outside of that, friend, I don't like being around nobody who not funny. You just serious all day. You don't laugh. You don't like crack a joke.
Crack smile.
You know what I'm saying?
Is anything humorous?
Like, is anything funny to you? Like, I just want to be around people who enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
understand.
it just remind me that life can be miserable. I don't want to be around nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? I like people who can just embrace the struggle, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Make light of it. You feel where I'm going with it? You know, you said preach it. Come on, Jerrilyn.
You had
Get into it.
I was with you at first. I mean, any other time that would be I would be right on board. But given the current political state of
the United
country
States
that
of America,
we live in, oh my God,
seriously, it's
I
a
don't know if I
struggle.
want to laugh through it anymore.
But I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh. I'm gonna find some laughter because girl, I can't sit in that. It's too much.
But that's the
My
story of
mental
black
health.
people. That's what we do as black people. We take
For
our
sure.
struggle and
For sure.
there was a comedian, I can't think of her name, but she just did the Grits and Egg podcast, and she said that black people made being poor so lit that we confuse people and they think that we like it or we enjoy it.
I can see that.
So I agree. You got to find some joy in things.
You have to. Because this, girl, we really sit down and think about it, we all be depressed and miserable, stuck in the house in the bed. And I can't do that.
Not me.
Sorry.
I'm going to go get something to eat. And
you
then,
are so greedy.
I'm glad you brought up food because... I'm glad you brought up food because you know what irritated me this week?
What?
People who go through a breakup and can't eat and can't sleep. If it's two things I'm going to do is have a snack and lay down.
Girl, I love a breakup. I lose so much weight.
Girl.
I love it. It's part of my weight loss diet.
My skin be glowing.
I love it.
My waist starts slimming down.
Girl, cinch. They be like, what is your diet? Breakup. Okay. Just get in a relationship and break up. You're going to be so skinny.
Oh my gosh. And then it's just the peace of being able to sleep alone and stretch out in a starfish pattern in the bed. All four corners. I like to touch all four corners of my bed. You know, just little wrist. Get in that thing. But no, all jokes aside, like I really do think that we got to do a better job of prioritizing our mental health. And fun fact, we have a guest in the studio with us today, and she's going to help us break down a lot of the stuff we're talking about today.
Yes.
But get this, here's the gag, folks.
The gag is
She's an intimacy coordinator and a sex therapist. Boom. You got to, when you edit it, do it. We like bomb drop right there and just boom.
we like that.
You guys, please welcome to the podcast, Zuri Pryor-Graves.
Yes.
Hello. Welcome. Now, first we have a segment that we call
Girl, what happened?
And that's what we basically tell you.
Girl, what happened?
I knew you were going to change the inflection of your tone. That's why I threw it back to you.
Y'all are hilarious. I'm so animated, I can't help it, guys.
Oh my gosh, girl, let me tell you, I'm so glad you asked. So there has been conversation about Nelly and Ashanti's new reality show called We Belong Together on Peacock. Now, for those of you who don't know, they were together in the mid-2000s and they broke up and rekindled their relationship after seeing each other at the Versus between Ja Rule and Fat Joe. Now, the thing that's getting the traction online is a clip of their show came out and Nelly basically telling Ashanti that if the child can't walk and talk, he don't want no parts of it. He don't want to be changing diapers and
That's crazy.
comforting, and he's not waking up in the middle of the night to do any of that stuff. So it should be known that Nelly is the father of 4 other adult children and even a grandfather, okay?
I didn't know he was a
Exactly. The grandmama is the baby. So
Stop.
So, girl, he's also 50 years old. Ashanti's 44. How do you feel about an older rich man saying he gonna give you all the resources that you need? You can have as much money as you want, whatever you need, I'll get it. But listen here,
You got to take
you
care
on
of that
your own
baby.
with that baby. Zora, what do you think about that?
I feel like if you communicate that, I'm all about communication. I may be this might cancel me, but I feel like if you communicate that ahead of time, as messed up as we might feel like it is, and you decide you still want to continue and move forward with that baby, don't come back later if you knew that going into it and be like, but I just figured you would change when you. I know
I'm the most guilty of that.
Yeah,
women do that.
Yes.
And I feel like you can't apply that to certain, like you can't pick and choose on when you get to apply that. So if people tell you who they are, believe them.
Yeah,
Come
absolutely.
on, Maya Angelou. I'm just saying that's a bomb quote. Don't sleep on Maya.
Don't sleep on Maya.
Don't sleep on Miss Angelo.
Okay. I know why. Okay, no, seriously. I'm back.
I cannot stand you, dog.
Okay.
Oh my God. So my whole thing is, like you said, I think that if you communicate this stuff, I don't think any woman will willingly go into a situation where she's going to be a married single mother, because that's what a lot of people on the internet are calling her. And I'm going to have to agree. And this is another reason why, get this on tape. Reason number 1,233 why I ain't having no kids.
Is she go with her compilation?
I done told y'all.
Why she ain't having no
I
kids?
done told y'all. By the time this podcast is finished, you're going to have at least 96 clips of me encouraging women to stop giving these men coochie. And I say that because
I can't argue with
you
facts.
end up with somebody like this who thinks it's all glitz and glamour. Let's have a good time. And I think, honestly, too, let's be clear. By the time Nelly's kids are all grown, right? So around the time that he was hot and popping, little babies.
Yeah.
I think these women was at the house
Oh, 100%.
with these children. I don't think this is new. I think that
this is how he is.
This is just a reality TV show, and we just seeing this new information. Do you think the compromise is he having a child for you, or is like what? Because a man with a grandkid don't need to go back and have
more, like
a regular kid.
Obviously, have maxed out.
You don't need to grandiose it. Like it's
yeah,
grand. You know what I mean? You have children already.
Right, like,
why are we making a brand?
Doing this? But she probably wanted a kid. You know what I'm saying? Ashanti, I'm sure, because she talked about her journey and like freezing her eggs and waiting to have a baby. And friend, you know what? That rich man say, take care of that baby. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get me a nanny.
Friend.
She gonna wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm gonna go about my way and day and collect that money till I can go.
Well, you know what?
I
never thought about it like
I'm
that.
gonna get a nanny. I'm not.
I shouldn't apply that to that.
I applied it because I always think I'm always. How can I get it right? I need to get to that bank account. Okay, so we get the nanny. She gets up. She take care of the kids. When I wake up, I will contribute. You know what I'm saying? To the best of my motherly duties. Like, nah.
Contributing
I will contribute
to your own motherhood journey is crazy.
They got nanny money.
Now,
If I have nanny money.
You sound like them dudes that be saying, you want me to watch the kid this weekend? Sir, it's half your DNA. What are you talking about?
But
watching your kid?
I'm going to get a nanny, y'all. Y'all can't be mad at that. And
Right.
I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill.
Well, I don't know. I think I would need a whole lot more. If I'm going to have a baby by somebody, I need to, first of all, be living in Europe. And
Wait.
universal health.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Black women are dying 3 to 4 times more
Facts.
than
That
any
is
other
very
race
true.
during
That is very
childbirth.
true.
And so it's not safe. It's not affordable.
Mhm.
And I don't think I want to risk my life for somebody who will sit up on a panel and tell people
That he not helping. That's
until he start
embarrassing.
walking and talking.
Yeah.
Now, don't embarrass me now. Let's like have this
Baby,
conversation
the
in private.
embarrassment was-
I don't like to be
Okay,
embarrassed.
the
though.
I
American-
appreciate
that's-
that.
Yeah, don't embarrass me.
He didn't need
on
to say
TV.
it out
No,
loud.
Yeah.
like just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
I just hate that.
That's what happens when you're on a reality TV show, though. You can't say, cut, we need to have a proper... No, y'all signed up for this, and now the fans want to know.
But
Is
why
you
y'all
stupid or
don't
is you
have
dumb?
that? But see, have that relationship with me. You know what I'm saying? To know, don't go on TV and
Right.
say that.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Why the director need to tell you not to say that and embarrass me
Girl.
on TV?
Because she still in love because she spun the block, and this is why you never spin the block.
That making my head itch. I don't know. Something about embarrassment really just get my nerves working.
Yeah.
Like what? Mm-mm.
I don't know. I can't see myself having any man's baby.
I know you don't want
But
kids, so
if-
like you could care less.
You know what's crazy? I used to want them. And the older I got and the more I saw how dangerous it was and how there are really no real provisions for babies when they... Like, there's no real maternity leave for women after work. Half of them can't afford to get nannies or get catering services or even a fitness instructor to help you get your snap back after. Like, there's just no support for women. And if you're a black woman, it's way worse. So
Yeah.
I just can't see myself, especially in this climate. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I get pregnant,
Europe.
you need to know that the visa application is not far behind.
No, I feel
I
that.
will be living in another country, and we're gonna have nannies and chefs.
Absolutely.
And security
and I think
whatever.
that's why I've waited so long, because I'm waiting. Like, that's the plan. It's like, I wouldn't dare wait this long to have kids and be stressed.
Yeah.
I am waiting because I'm waiting for my money to get to a certain place, or hopefully be with somebody who, when we come together, we have nannies, we have chefs, we have maids. It's just like a pleasurable experience. I would hate to wait this long and just be in the same boat. I should have did this in my teens then, or like my early 20s or something. Do you have children?
I don't have any.
Oh, okay. Why we just sitting here talking?
No.
One more for the team.
Do you want children?
I do want children.
Okay, she wants children. So she's not over there. She's actually over
But
there.
no, but to be fair though, I always say, like, I have nieces, I have a nephew, my friends have kids, and I really do love kids. I be talking heavy shit on this podcast, but I love kids. But I also love them enough to know that I shouldn't be nobody's parent. Not the way I think
Which is
and
commendable.
feel
Absolutely.
about how society looks at women, especially.
Right.
You know, like, I just don't think it'd be a good look for me.
And I feel that.
And then the way I get on a plane, honey,
yeah.
who gonna
Right.
keep the baby?
That's why I feel like I always say, if I have a baby, he's gonna be like carry around. He has to go everywhere.
Exactly.
He has to do everything, and I don't want to change my lifestyle, but so much in order to, because I feel like then I'm gonna be miserable. I'm not gonna be a good parent.
Right.
But yeah, I don't have any younger siblings. I don't have any siblings. I don't have any. So the idea of bringing a child into this world with zero experience and doing it by myself is just off the table.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So I want to do it with somebody else. So that's why I've waited. And I'm gay. So then you have to go into the whole buying stuff. You gotta like, no, because
So like,
I know. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my God.
My humor is dry.
She said,
I love that, but you still joking, and this what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At least she's still dry humor. Oh, I don't care what kind of humor, but the fact that you don't got none stresses me.
It makes my
Right.
ass
Stresses
itch.
me. Okay,
Yeah.
you hear me? And right along with that package.
Right.
Okay,
The package, but that you
comes
pay
that
for,
now.
that you pay like it's like $30,000.
I know.
I'm 37. It's like for me to do all the things that you need to do to go from nothing to something.
Yeah.
$30,000. That's crazy.
That is wild.
And then you got to share your body with somebody. Like, what if he be up late? Like, I'd be going to sleep at 9.
Girl,
What if the baby?
get out of my face. Get out of my face.
What if the baby's a night owl?
And they're like, go to sleep.
Because I'm going to tell you now, right along with that package, she said, is a nanny.
Can I take NyQuil?
Included. Okay.
I'm talking about inside in utero.
Like a little.
Yeah,
Oh!
imagine I'm trying to go to sleep and this
You ain't getting no sleep.
this
That baby
this
in there.
joker just tossing and turning.
Oof. Because they say that's so painful. too.
Daquan,
Why the hell?
simmer down in
is
there.
the baby named
Turn that music
Oh,
off. Turn the music off. The party is over. Unplug the aux. Y'all go to bed in there. Hey, all that hooting and hollering.
Oh my
God.
That'll
That's
be me.
crazy
That'll be me
as
trying to
hell.
shut the baby up. And this is,
That's hilarious.
I know this is going to be my last episode. I don't care. At this point, I'm just doing whatever I want to do because I know I'm getting fired.
I'm done.
So-
Well, you get fired, me too. Hell, what we gonna do next?
It's going to be Lene said it. It's going to be Lene just saying it alone. It's gonna be,
I'm crying.
oh my gosh. So, fun question. Okay, do your plans change when you have a man with money? Now, let me give you a little backstory.
Okay.
As we know, Black women are the most educated group right now. But with that being said, would you change your career path if you met somebody who said, hey, just sit down, I got everything? And I ain't talking about like 150,000, 200,000 a year. I'm talking about loaded. And you don't have to deal with being cheated on, being disrespected. Like, they worship the ground you walk on. They're a good partner. They want to provide. They just want you to sit at home. Do nothing. You doing it?
Jerrilyn, if you really my friend,
I know you're not. So, Zuri,
you know I'm not. You know I'm not going to sit there. You know that I'm not.
Lene, you're going to take the money. Lene is going to end up getting sued because
I'm
Lene is
sitting
going
down immediately. I've never sat down faster in my life.
Lene is
I will strap myself.
You
to the
are
chair.
going to agree to the terms, and when you realize that
You're
you can
bored.
do all the things that right now bring you joy, you're going to want to backtrack on that contract.
You got me.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
I know my
Yeah.
friend.
Okay.
She gonna sit down at first, but after that second month, she gonna be calling me.
And how much
"Friend,
money I got?
Well, what you doing?
Nuh-uh. I'm gonna be saying, how much money is in the account?
Not your escape money.
Yes. Like, all right, we've hit the limit. We can go now. Yeah.
I feel like I have so many questions. Like, is it like you cannot? They're saying you cannot work.
Yeah, like they don't want you to.
See, then we got other issues. in terms of
Control.
and
Mhm.
toxicity.
Mhm.
But
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but they just don't want you to be
work.
responsible for having no income to bring to the table.
yeah, then I mean, I feel like I would just do. I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've never worked for. I mean, I guess you're always working for someone, but I've always worked kind of independently. So I feel like I could continue to do those things without the pressure of it needing to be for financial gain.
You could just do it for fun.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as long as I could still be me and do everything I'm already doing, absolutely.
That's what I would want.
Mhm.
Because any person who's trying to be with me has to know I'm never sitting down. Okay?
I know. Jerrilyn don't sit down for nothing
I'm
anyway.
not sitting down for nobody.
I shall sit.
Well, because I enjoy what I do. I like doing what I do. I
Yeah.
love like
Mhm.
making people laugh, traveling a lot. And I've even started to like, vlogging my trips and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I can't see like unless you want to pay for the trips and
Yeah, that's the plan.
that you can do that, but I'm taking this camera and I'm
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like-
But I think the way I hear it is exactly like what you said. It's like you just get to do it for the pressure of needing
Yeah.
to make the money and burnout. Like it's not easy being
Right.
an entrepreneur. Like
Yeah.
you are constantly doing something. You mean to tell me that now I get to do it at my own leisure and find the fun in it? Because sometimes when you do things for so long, you lose the excitement. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as fun as it was when you first started doing it. You mean to tell me now I get to pick up my camera whenever I actually feel like it? Now I don't have to worry about whether or not my bill's gonna get paid or my money doing this, because we go through this whole thing all the time. I mean, that just sounds ideal to me.
it sounds ideal to me too.
Yeah.
But I'll be thinking too, like, it's the Taurus in me. Like, I gotta have my own money. Like, I would never just be like, okay, you got it. Like, I don't know what that's like. And and which is crazy because I grew up with my dad. He gave me everything I wanted. I was spoiled, but just also having learned how to work from him, I just would never be like, okay, I'm just chilling. I just ain't gonna be able to do it. Now,
I don't see myself
now
doing
you
it.
can pay whatever bills you want to pay. I'm never gonna
Give it to
not
me to
take
pay
your
the
money.
bills.
Now see,
Give me the money to pay
now
the
you're
bills.
going to jail.
Why can't I pay the bills?
Extortion,
He's
Rico.
so busy working and
Rico.
stuff. I get the money to pay the bills.
Mm.
Jerrilyn,
I don't
can
want
do
to
it.
even if you're paying all the bills, I don't even want to see the notice. I want you to have your emails signed up on the account, and I want you to make the payment. But
I would like to make the payment.
Mm-mm.
Please
I'm
deposit it
following.
into, when you get it, deposit it into my account. I want to take care of the bills from there.
Oh my gosh, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I think we should try it. Lene, you know what we need to do?
What?
I've said this before. We need to just move to Portugal
Or
Portugal,
this girl stay trying to get me to
Thailand,
move
or
out
Spain
of the state.
or something. Girl, it's just so nice over there.
I know.
Even the white people. The white
Oh
people
my
different
God,
outside of the
Jesus
United
Lord.
States.
Friend, I have
Yeah.
something to say. I don't know
Okay.
if we could say this though, right?
Okay.
So the girl from Love
Say that
Island got kicked off for
For being
saying,
racist?
she said
It was a couple
what
of
was
them.
it? What happened?
she said
It was an Asian slur.
yeah, she said
She was
that
talking about the shape of her eyes or something like that.
she had got Botox or some type of filler or something and said that her eyes were, I don't want to say it because
Well,
I don't
don't
want to
say
get
it.
canceled.
People have watched Love Island. Y'all know the word.
Okay.
But if at all I
Okay.
can, I'm gonna say the N word.
And so what are
Because
you
people be scared to say slurs, and I'm black, so I'm gonna say nigga.
what,
I told you, my contract is up. They're firing me.
done.
It is what it is.
But
Okay?
friend, the question is, did y'all know that was a racial slur?
I did.
I did not know that. Like, that was just news to me, and I didn't know, like, the extent of it, until I heard everybody kind of saying, like, what it was. Because when they put the post and everything, I read it with confidence. And I was like, is the racial slur in the
She
room
was
with
like,
us?
no,
You know
no.
what I'm saying?
I feel like I know it's frowned upon, but I didn't know that it would be taken. I mean, I probably wouldn't say it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would feel funny about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have equated it to something like that.
I think people like. To me, racism is stupid anyway. But
That
to
part.
make a derogatory comment about somebody's ethnicity or the color of their skin or something like that, and then make up a word that you think is derogatory, to me, it just don't be holding no weight for real. Not to me anymore. Now, what I do periodically, I just go Google slurs because I want to stay up to date. I don't want to offend people, but also I want to retain always the right to say nigga, because I think that people get comfortable. They be throwing these words around, and it is my personal opinion that if a word has never been used against you in a derogatory manner, then you shouldn't be saying it. If an Asian person wants to use that word in reference to themselves, by all means. Women do it with the B word. Black people do it with the N word. You know, LGBT, sometimes they use certain words with each other. So I don't think it's a problem if this you and your homegirl, y'all talk to each other like that, cool. Don't come over here with me talking to me like that.
Yeah.
But you know, like it's such a touchy subject for people. I just feel like, why you got to use the words at all? But know who you using it with. On national TV probably isn't the best place.
Yeah.
So,
but where's the line?
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know where the line is.
That is true. Where is it? Because it continues to move.
Yeah.
So you just don't ever, you know what I mean? I don't know. How I'm genuine. I don't know her. I don't have any genuine feelings towards
So you're a liar.
Right. Like, obviously. Like, I just be lying. But the way the post was made, I'm not sure if she was like trying to attack. So I don't know. You know what I mean? But as like looking in the comments and hearing what Asian ethnicities have to say about it, they're really offended. So how could I ever be like, this is not offensive, this is not offensive, if they are offended? Like, it's offensive then. You know what I'm saying? You got to go with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about examples that would offend me. I'm not sure.
Well, in the LGBTQ community, it's, you know, that F word. Can't say that.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I know people. I know people, and they be calling each other that. I would obviously, I jumped on a guy one time.
I just don't think that's the right word. Yeah, that word honestly struck me out.
Yeah, that word has a lot of negative connotations. But I'm like, so what if one of the guys was acting extremely and all of a sudden somebody was like, yes, queen. Is that the line?
I mean, it depends. Is it a heterosexual male? Because that would be offensive to probably that man. But Jesus, a gay man wouldn't take offense to it.
Jesus.
But if he was acting flamboyant on purpose, he was being performative.
Oh, yeah.
So where's it like, is he being the offensive one?
That's mockery.
Yeah, definitely.
That's mockery. So now I would be offended.
Yeah.
You know what we need to do? We need to call Barack Obama. Jahi, get Barack on the phone. Because
I'm about to run, Jerrilyn, because the way I'm about to run over here.
Damn, what I say? I'm so serious.
I'm trying to rock on the phone.
I feel like we need to have these open conversations. No, I was just aside. I feel like these are the conversations that we need to be having. Instead of arguing about 50-50 and who gonna do the chores at the house, like, we need to be talking about how we preserve or get back to some semblance of humanity.
Yeah.
Because we are having these conversations, and girl, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We're kind of guessing.
You know what I mean?
We
We all over here.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
That's
and
true.
we want to do the right thing.
Right, exactly. And then we mess up. You know what I'm saying? Something like what you said, or like say something along the lines and you just not sure. And then like we're 3 women in the room trying to figure it out. But imagine how many other people also don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're right. We definitely need to have more conversations around it. That's crazy. Okay.
I know.
My bad.
Thanks for bringing that up, though. Because
No
was it got a little deep in here for a second.
I'm the queen of getting off topic. You can count on me.
If there's a lane, you can guarantee Lene won't stay in it. Okay? Anyway, so, okay, because we got to take full advantage of having an intimacy coordinator here.
Yes.
Okay. Time for some girl talk.
All right.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
Ready. Okay. Are you comfortable teaching your partner what you like? Now, Zuri, we know. We know. You know.
We know.
You don't tell strangers.
Right.
We know you
Okay,
don't
she a
mind.
director of sex. So she's like, that ain't quite it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do want to get your opinion on this. Are you comfortable telling your partner, maybe during the act of intimacy, like what you like, what you don't like, how you want it done? Like, what does that look like?
If I have to grab the back of your neck to make you listen to me. No, girl.
Lene, what is your
I'm
problem?
going to grab that neck. Yeah. Little to the left.
Like a pit bull.
Grab
that.
that neck.
Come here. Come here.
Get over here. Okay, because I'm not playing.
What
That's
is
too
wrong
funny.
with you? Oh my gosh, Zuri, what do you think? I have literally have tears in my
that
eyes.
is hilarious. I mean, so I'm always going to take everything back to communication. I think by the time you're having to make those adjustments and it's the first time you've had a hard conversation, because at this point, anytime you're talking about sex, anytime you're talking about performance, anything like that in the bedroom, you're talking about ego.
Yep.
So, and people are fragile. Especially when they're the most vulnerable. You got somebody naked in a bed with you, that is probably one of the most vulnerable places they could ever be. So the way that you handle them, you have to handle them with care the way they should be handled. care,
Yeah.
but you set that up outside of the bedroom. So I think that having those conversations, those harder conversations about what your preferences are and also what are your preferences around communication. So like
Right.
it's not even because you might be in a moment and it's like they thought they heard you. Just like everybody, I could tell you everybody in this room the same thing. You're gonna hear something different. So even if you talk about it, you end up in the moment and they're doing the thing that they thought that you wanted them to do, and you're like, that ain't it, right? But how do you say that ain't it in a way where they can receive it and a correction can be made in that moment, or or it might be somebody might be honest with you and say, if you course correct me in the moment, it's going to take me out of the moment. So then it's about talking to them about, okay, so how do we keep you in the moment? And what is that about for you, that your ego is that fragile that
Thank you.
we
Because
can't-
while you trying to stay in the moment and I'm out the moment, then what we doing?
Right.
I'm in the kitchen making a sandwich.
Right.
Like, yeah. Like
I've been out the moment.
I just think if it's about pleasuring me, I feel as though this may be selfish, I don't know, then I need to be in the moment.
right.
Like, you're pleasuring me.
Way
So
more
why
than
do
you need to be.
way more than you need to.
Yeah.
Why do you need to be in the moment? But I'm getting pleasure.
Right. But
So-
a lot of times but a lot of times women's response to be like, that's good enough. Or
good enough is
yeah,
enough is wild.
yeah.
I don't want enough of nothing. I want overflow.
Yeah.
In the name of Jesus.
Okay.
Looking in the camera right now, receive it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So how do you communicate?
I don't. I have that conversation earlier, after, before, because what's so crazy is that I was doing a different situation, and it was a group of people in mixed company in a room having a conversation about, it was literally same question. Do you tell your partner what you don't like and what you do like in the bedroom? I kid you not. I think my comment was, well, yeah, I don't mind sharing, hey, I would prefer this, this, and this. And he was like, well, I feel like you're telling me that you want something somebody else already gave you.
Calm down. What is he talking
And I
about?
said, is this thing on?
Right.
Ego.
Because
Yeah.
the first thing it went to was, oh, so you want what somebody else did. And if you want me to crush your chest, the answer is yeah. Yeah, I want it just like I had it back in 96. Okay? Because
Yeah.
but you can't say that.
Yeah,
I think
you can't.
that's
Yeah,
my
you
problem.
do gotta
when
beat around the bush
when
with
you
that.
asking like, well, how do you tell somebody that ain't it? My problem is I'm going to say that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning. Lene is helping me to learn that I can't just say exactly how I feel.
Not like that. No,
I have
Jerrilyn's
to-
too blunt.
I have to buffer
And
how, like, I
she
have
can
to
Or
really
you
hurt
just have
somebody's
to find
feelings.
somebody who's ready to receive you as
Girl,
you
no,
are.
she don't need to be hurting nobody's feelings the way Jerrilyn be hurting people. She don't have no fluff.
That is not.
She don't have no
true.
fluff.
I am very tactful when it
No,
comes
you are
to
not. No, you're not. Like, no.
I bet you are until you're not.
Mm-mm.
I literally put that
I
on
love
blast
that people are here
yesterday.
to enable you.
I'm
That's
sorry.
amazing. That's great. So perfect for you.
I just don't see anybody. If you care about somebody in a situation or whatever, I feel like you can be as strong of a personality, but you're still gonna come with a little bit of gentility. Like what you bringing up, what you just brought up. I feel like you said what you said, and you had no idea to know that guy was about to come back and
She
say
wasn't
something.
directing it to him when she
But he took it
directed it to
personally.
him. When I'm saying the reason why it was gentle is because you were not directing. If it was
Okay,
directed
so
to
let me
him,
go ahead and defend myself because Lene is making a case here, and I feel like Johnny Cochran. May he rest in peace.
bye.
No, for real though. My thing is like when it comes to communication, I get so irritated with passive aggressiveness, and I know people aren't doing it intentionally, but sometimes they're saying it because Lene might talk to me a certain type of way. You see how she just described how I communicate? I know that she feels like that about me. So when I come to her with something, also I know that she's my friend and she can handle the raw emotions, but she is going to probably not shrink herself, but she probably gonna step back a little bit, let me get it out. And then she's gonna be like, okay, this is what I heard you say. Because she understands how to communicate with me. If you've pissed me off, that's not the version you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not interested in filtering myself for people who I feel like have disrespected me, but people that I love, people that I genuinely, want to see them do good and I care about them. If I know Lene feels self-conscious about this one thing, but I see it, and I'm like, hey, friend, I know that you kind of, working on this and, I kind of saw it come up today. You want to talk about it? I'm not going to go at her like, and see, here you go with that same I'm not going to come at her like that because that's not how she receives information. Right. You know who's really, really shitty at that?
Cool.
Men. I'm glad we had this talk.
Okay. And here we go. And this is it. Now you get to see what I'm saying. When she's done, go ahead and direct it to them so you can see. Go direct it.
And 5,
No,
6,
8,
7, 8.
Yeah. Now this is how she would talk to you.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the situation. You know, like, I don't want to mince my words. I think because when when people start feeling weird about how they say stuff and how it come off, it don't get communicated correctly.
Right, yeah.
And now you're trying to solve a problem I never asked you to solve because I could have just told you exactly what the problem was. And then
I'm
you
with
could have
you.
point blank solved it. You know, like, I don't know. I'm still working on it, though. I got a therapy session scheduled for this week.
No, but I feel you.
I do. I be seeing my therapist. And I do be asking her. It's so funny because I be like, girl, how do I need to tell this man? Because XYZ, la da da da. And I know he going to take the wrong way. I just know me. I'd rather just say, I don't like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you know I don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, she don't like that. Let me do something else. You know?
Yeah. No, I love Jerrilyn. Like, I just love her so much. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
Why do I feel like it's shade? You know what? I'm glad I had a witness here. How Lene abuses and mistreats me
You tried it.
on a regular basis. Thank you so much,
You
Zuri,
can
because
never
when I
abuse that
when
one.
I call you up to testify,
Good gracious.
I'm gonna need a
Johnny.
Johnny.
I need a friendly face in the courtroom. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Now, I know that people are going to ask because, I mean, it sounds like you can kind of guess what this means, but girl, just break it down.
Absolutely.
Okay? We don't wanna
Right.
guess
The quick and
anything.
dirty, the quick and dirty.
Yes.
So 2 completely separate lives because one is about real sex and the other one is about making sure that sex can't happen, right? So an intimacy coordinator is a liaison that acts between like actors and productions on television and film sets. So we are actor advocates. We're also choreographers. Anytime there's any kind of hypersensitive material, that could be nudity, simulated sex. It could be something as much as teen pregnancy or do a lot of first time stories or kissing. The scope is pretty broad. And then on the flip side of that, for me as a sex therapist, and that was my kind of avenue into this work, I do things that are a little bit more emotional on the emotional side. So I also tap into sexual assault, suicide, homicide, different like the ending of characters who've been around for seasons of shows and like, what is that emotional journey for those characters and things like that. So I do a little bit of double dipping into the mental health side of TV and film and the intimacy coordinating side.
Wow.
I
I
love
was
that.
completely wrong. I love that for me. Okay. But while we're talking about emotions and things like that, me and Jerrilyn talk heavily about therapy. Going to go talk to the lady.
All the time.
And while you're here, we want to check in with you and see, well, how are you just feeling today?
Oh, thank you. You know what? I feel like I ask everybody all the time, and I don't ever think about that question for myself. So thank you for that. No, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be. Been out of Atlanta for a bit, so I'm happy to be back in Atlanta. This is a good welcome home. So I'm feeling pretty good today.
Good. Okay, now, so why is it important? Because I know you mentioned mental health and sex therapy and things like that. Why do you think it is important to have an intimacy coordinator and a sex therapist like yourself actually on the set? Because I know you deal with a broad range of things.
Right. I'll go even further to say beyond important, I think it's essential. And I hope that Hollywood and TV and film continue to move in the direction of making it a requirement. And we're battling union things right now to try to make that happen. But I will say that is because if you've ever been on a film TV set, there are so many different people and everybody has their own individual roles and they're pigeonholed to make sure that those jobs get done. Right. And there's no one's job that it really is for the emotional wellness of these people. A first team PA is like the person who makes sure that they get their snacks, that they're where they're supposed to be on time, but they have so many people in their ear. And also it is not their job to take care of people that way. And their job can only go so far because we have a legal element to our position too. We help facilitate the legal contracts that protect these actors. So it's if you tell me you only want your left shoulder touched, I'm going to write it in a document that says that. And then I'm going to be on set in it's called a closed set. So when there are as few people as possible as it takes to make that shot happen, making sure that contract is upheld. So those people who are the closest people to those actors, they actually are not ever going to be in the room when they actually are most needed.
Oh my goodness, this is okay. This is
I
way
didn't know
more
any of
intense.
this. Yeah,
Right.
so I didn't know it was all of that.
And it's and you know and the journey is going to be different for everybody. Like I've worked with Morris Chestnut and Tay Diggs. They have extensive histories dealing with the emotional regulation that's necessary and the planning and the consent work that's required to make sure that those scenes are successful and safe for everybody. And then I have people who have never been in front of a camera before, and on their very first day, they're asking to like be told to lay on their back, and they don't even know the language to use. They don't know how to advocate for themselves. They don't know the balance between, am I being too much? Am I going to get blackballed if I say no? It's so much to navigate. So to be able to be that person who is a voice for those people and make sure that regardless if you've done it a million times or you've never done it before, that your experience is just as positive and that everybody feels as included as possible.
I love that.
I really do too. Like, what even drew you to this field? Like, how did you get here?
Yeah, that goes back to the other job. I'm a clinician. I'm a sex therapist. And I was working.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm trying to that's what we want to talk about.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about
baby.
right. Hey. See, I was about to sing with you. That's crazy.
That's one thing black people gonna do is join in.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time. No, but I keep saying I'm a sex therapist. I guess like it's one of those things where if you're a doctor, you're always a doctor, even if you're not practicing. So now I only work in TV and film, and I do certain things on the side and certain curating events that have to do with sexual health and things. But when I was a sex therapist actively practicing, I worked predominantly with kids, 13 to 24, around sexual health issues and also like marginalized youth, homeless youth, advocating for sex work, like in safe ways. So I did a lot of that. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I was working with a nonprofit in Philly. I was trying to find similar work here. I wanted to work I didn't want to work for the people who could pay for it. Sex therapy is expensive because you have therapists and then it's like, just like if you go to a doctor and then the doctor has a specialty. So like you go to your primary care and you get a recommendation or a referral to go to ear, nose, and throat. It's similar. I mean, you don't need a referral to go to a sex therapist, but it's expensive. And I did not like that the people who probably really needed the most that are not just like, my penis doesn't work. You know, like, and no, that is important too. But, you know, you got kids on the street who are, it's a lot.
No.
I want to help those. Anyway.
We're here to talk about all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to help those people. And I could not find an organization in Atlanta who was doing that work exclusively. It was a lot of interconnected, like social work and stuff. And I was like, I want to do the therapy part of it. So in the mix of all of that, I was a professional roller derby player. And that's why I moved to Atlanta. And I met a lot of my teammates who were into stunts in TV and film.
That's cool.
And so I got into that side of things. And intimacy coordinating is a lot of movement. So understanding how to position somebody's body in a particular way where 5 feet. I've had people doing oral sex scenes and they are 5 feet away from each other. And if you know camera angles, body positioning, you know how to coach those things out. So I started in stunts so that I could understand the mechanics of what it is to be, what it is to like make things like fake a punch, fake a fall, all these different things directly translated into that work. So that's kind of
how you got around.
Yeah, it's all the way around. Yeah. So I thought I made it up. You know, I was trying to kind of like I started going to sets and stuff, and I was like watching all this weird stuff that was happening. Who supports these people? Like, and I thought I was trying to be a therapist on set. And come to find out that job was a job. It's new as of 2017.
Very new.
Yeah. And this was 2019 for me. So it was in the very, very, very infant stages of trying to figure out what.
Okay, well, you talk a little bit about kind of the tough parts of, you know, working with children and things like that. What do you think overall is the toughest part of your job?
As an intimacy coordinator? I think it goes back to the mental health thing. Like, it's like, okay, if people were playing characters and they're having these sexual experiences, even if they're fake sexual experience, and they're having to emote that, and they've been asked to embody these characters, what if they haven't been able to do it in real life? Right. You know, so what is that like?
That's good.
Yeah, so
that's really good because, you know, a lot of women say they never orgasmed before. So how you know how to do that if you ain't never did that?
So it gets real.
She did not.
I mean,
that's
you did say that because it's true. No, I mean, you're right though. You're
But
right.
there's a large percentage of women who don't. So
Yeah,
I mean, I
facts.
can only imagine if they're on these sets taking these roles and having to fake it.
Yeah.
What what does that even look like?
How do I
You
even
know?
embody so people feel like,
Yeah.
connected to the character and
Right.
not like it was fake?
Yeah, you can
know?
teach somebody how to be mad. You can teach
Yeah.
somebody how to perform anger. You can, but these schools are not necessarily having a whole class on intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an it gets really tricky and it's uncomfortable a lot of times, I think, for professors to lean into some of those things that are necessary to kind of explore. Even kissing, that is a vein of my existence on
I don't
on
ever
set.
want to do it. I don't want to kiss nobody. Sign the paperwork because
and-
I get them away from me.
Exactly. And speaking of kissing, have you seen Love Island? While we're on the topic of kissing,
Like literally kissing any and everybody,
girl,
just
over
back to back.
and
back
over
to back to
and
back
over.
is crazy.
And then
Crazy.
watching it.
And my
It's
whole thing
crazy.
is like, are there any tests being done
No.
on shows like that?
Absolutely
Is
not.
anybody getting a mono test?
No.
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 And that's why
That's
some of
crazy.
them got some stuff on their lip. And you
The
still
most-
got to kiss them?
I was about to say the most thing that they probably do is maybe like a COVID test. But
Not a COVID test.
So-
they might do a COVID test.
Yeah,
They were
so
doing a lot of COVID tests for a long time in TV and film.
Yeah.
Friend, all that kissing, I'm going to need more than a COVID test.
Child, I
And
need to
usually
see
when
your
in a situation
tuberculosis.
like that, you might do a COVID test, but you would do it before you get on set and you're not
Right.
doing it again.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't even know, like I've done my fair share of reality TV and also, we tried that. Like when in 2020, I was an intimacy coordinator in 2020.
Mhm.
So trying to navigate that for
Through
actors
COVID
to
is
be
crazy.
like, right. And then for people to be like, so did they get tested? And then you've got HIPAA. It's like you
Ooh,
can't,
you can't tell them if they,
and then it's like,
No.
oh yeah, somebody was out for a little bit. Like they were traveling or they were whatever production has told. And it's like just being the keeper of secrets. A lot of times it's really hard for me to know things. But no, there is no testing on these sets of any kind in terms of those kinds of things. There are psychological tests a lot of times. They'll do MMIP or MMPI. That's personality. That's like substance abuse. That's leaning towards mood disorders. Any kind of those really triggering things that, because they want a little chaos, but there's certain things you just don't
one on
want.
there. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So they'll do
Yeah.
that.
How would you have approached Love Island? Like being an intimacy coordinator, them kissing back to back to back. What would have been your approach as
That's
an
crazy.
intimacy?
I would have had a
coordinator?
fanny pack with a lot of mints, some mouthwash. They have those mouthwashes that are like Coraseptic kind of. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna need to do it through like saran wrap or a bubble
Like-
because I
Not
don't know.
saran wrap.
My thing is I don't even kiss on the first date. Like I
Fair.
have to like really really like somebody in order to be like, you know what I want to do?
Mhm.
Touch
Yeah.
my mouth to his mouth.
Right.
And so I think about watching these shows and like, oh y'all just met 20 minutes ago and now your tongue is down.
And
his
then
throat.
all
Yeah.
the challenges is kissing. Like you can't even avoid it. Like
Yep.
even if you
Yep.
wanted to, every challenge is like you pick somebody to kiss. You could kiss 3 people in one challenge. Why are we doing that?
And,
3.
and that person has kissed also 7 people.
Right.
So
Where is the
So then you're
discipline?
kissing them too.
now you've kissed 13,626 people.
No, for
Exactly.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think that there's an element of mental health in there, right? Because you've got a group think that's happening. So I don't like if you obviously group think, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory what it is, but it is a cultural phenomenon that it's a monkey see, monkey do thing. And a lot of times people don't check back and self-regulate until after the fact to be like,
Just do
Dude.
yeah.
because they see someone and it just creates this really toxic culture. And that group think mentality can extend throughout the entirety of the show. To the second, like they get off the set and they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, and they don't even know the choices that they're making. It's almost like what do you call like tailgate? Like when you're behind a huge truck and you feel your car kind of like
Kinda
drifting
going
on its
into
own.
it, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah.
actual term, but I know what you mean. Like, it's like you getting caught in the draft of the wind
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, that is crazy to me because I look at stuff like that and I always wonder, like, what is it? Obviously, it's not taboo anymore if we're on screens and doing stuff like this. But I just can't imagine having to sit. What are some of the things? I'm sorry, this is not on here. But what are some of the things that you have to like say to people? Because like, are you standing there watching and coaching, or are you just kind of like, I know you uphold the terms of the contracts and things like that, but are you like all right, now touch her left breast, and like, are you
She's like,
refereeing
yeah.
type? What you?
Yeah, we do both. We do
Wow.
all of it. And it just depends on, like, part of my pre-work and doing these shows is meeting with the producers and the director to be like, what does my role look like here for you? This is the scope of the things that I can do. Where do you want me to stop in that? Because some directors are like, you are in the way. Here, this is a new position. There are people who've been doing this longer than I've been alive. And they, and they're like very uninterested in my level of participation.
Right.
So I just have to really regulate how much I show up and how much but I see something going awry and that is not reading. Because my job, at the end of the day, my job is to make sure people feel safe and also make something that looks realistic.
Sell the shot. Yeah.
And sell the shot. So if I can give my little insight either to the ear of the producer or director, or if given permission directly to the talent, I'll do that. But we do rehearsals. So we try to do rehearsals 48 hours ahead of time of a scene so people can have a chance to digest it and also change their mind if they don't want to do something. But that's when I'm going to see little quirks. If I can get people to do a real full out rehearsal, like even if it's not kissing in a rehearsal, but you cheek to cheek, when a kiss would happen. Let's count out the beats. And I have my dancers. My dancers always want it choreographed like a dance. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. We are kissing for 3 beats.
Wow.
We have 4
that is a
beats
lot.
to get
That is
from
a
here to
lot.
here. Oh, absolutely. They want it because it has to be repeatable. TV and film, you need it from every angle. You could be doing this for hours. What is sustainable? How many times can you actually, like if we're over here doing some kind of acrobatic position, we got 1 take, So just different things like that.
Anxiety.
Yes. Now
A lot to consider.
This is not
Lord.
on there either, but
Not us going left as usual.
I know, but
Who could've predicted it?
Right. Who would have known? We'd have never done that. But so was you there when Carisha was in BMF?
Girl.
Was you what? What? Because we all want to know. We wonder why did it play out the way it did, friend? If you was there, tell her that wasn't it. Did she only have 1 take? Look, she said I can't say nothing.
I will say,
Here come the PC answer.
Me.
right? Yes, I am the intimacy coordinator for BMF. And also, that falls into, there are so many different factors that go into a scene and how many takes someone has in. That could be an actor request. Somebody might be like, I only want to do this 1 time. Like, I got your 1 time. If that 1 time is, you don't know how that 1 time is going to go. And you don't want people to self-regulate like that. You want the director to be able to do that. But sometimes they do that. And I'm not saying that's what happened, but also you have to consider the director. Maybe the director is uncomfortable. I work with a lot of directors who would rather rush through an intimacy scene than get all the pieces. And I've worked with directors who are a little weird and they stay in these intimacy scenes too long.
Get
And
up out
then
of
you
there.
got your actors uncomfortable and they start doing weird stuff. And then maybe 1 take is not like the whole thing is perfect.
Yeah.
But there's this 1 thing that's in it and they can't use it. So then they have to use one of the other 10 takes that weren't.
Oh my
So
goodness.
and you also never know what's going to end up on the cutting room floor. And that's why I always try to tell people, make sure that you're doing something and doing it in a way that you feel comfortable with every single time, because you never know what you feel like is your best and you never know what everybody else is looking for. The lighting could be a little bit off and they can't use the take. So it's like, it's just, there's so many different elements that go into it, what ends up on the cutting room floor and also what never gets shot.
Girl, you are
Somebody
good.
would be getting fired. Because if this man done molested my ear for 30 minutes and you telling me we ain't got the shot,
Not molesting my ear.
I'm about to rearrange this entire set.
All right, give me one up out of
Okay.
here.
No,
Yeah, we got
that
to move on to something else.
I just realized that I did not know anything about, like when you see sex scenes on TV, whether they're like, rated R, a little extra steamy, or if they're a little PG, like I just didn't know what all it took. I'm thinking
a
somebody
lot.
says action and y'all just go at it
And
until
figure it out.
Yeah.
Everybody's genitals are taped shut and down.
Wow.
There's there's no way that anything can ever happen if it's set up properly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tape down and tape.
I like
Yes.
that. I like that. shut it down. That's what I heard.
I'm thinking about the logistics.
I know, but drag queens do it all the time. It can't be that bad.
But girl, imagine that you ain't waxed in a couple.
Girl, I'm waxing. Ain't no way you doing that. I ain't waxing.
Because when that tape come off,
girl,
yeah,
woo,
that lip might come off too.
I'm telling
we have
you.
removal kits too.
Oh, okay.
I will be give me the serum, whatever. Release this adhesive, get it off.
No, but
me,
you're
child.
right. You're right.
This is I'm actually very glad that
Yes,
we
me too.
asked
Well,
a couple
me
of
too.
off-script
Yeah,
questions because we
yeah.
never would have got to this conversation. And I think that this whole conversation was so needed. Necessary, like you said, it's not just important, it's essential. And because, like you said, it's a fairly new position, people don't really know what they need.
Because you just hit intimacy and you automatically think sex or kissing or something. You know what I mean? When you talked about the emotional aspect of that, I never would have thought that you get that deep and making sure people are okay and you advocate for people who don't know or have like stipulations. Like, girl, you're that girl.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
I love my job. I truly love my job.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a blessing to hear. You know, everybody can't say that. So to be part of, you know, the group of people that actually enjoy what they do, love it, and find it, you know, fulfilling, get passion from it, we appreciate you. So
Yes.
thank you
Thank
for
you so
hanging out with
much.
us today. So now we're going to get into something we like to call unlicensed professional. As you all know, me and Lene, we got PhDs, pretty hard
Okay.
to deal with,
Hello?
okay? And we are going to give you our professionally unlicensed opinion about something that we think everybody should be talking about.
That we don't have no clue about, but
no
we're
certificates,
going to do it.
no
we're going
degrees,
to do it.
nothing. But here we are.
Yeah.
Am I an asshole? My husband suggested threesome with a woman I want a divorce. I don't think that I'm being dramatic. My husband is turning 40 in a few weeks, and he asked me if we could do something crazy, like have a threesome on his day with a woman. You choose her, and you set the rules. Oh, how nice of you to make me choose. I started bawling my eyes out, and I guess he wasn't prepared for this reaction. So he got terrified and started apologizing, saying sorry, and that he loves me more than anything and to forget it. Of course, I can't forget it. I asked for a divorce the next day, well, 2 days ago, and he is very shocked and desperate. He told me he would give me space and crash on his parents' sofa for a few days, but I know that in my heart, my marriage is over. Additional information: he is 40, I am 38. We've been together for over 7 years, married for 1.5 years. We have one daughter who's 6 months, and we talked about planning another baby.
Oof. Girl, I'm not leaving with no 6-month-old.
If y'all don't go to hell, this is some foolishness.
I'm like,
Baby, you
what?
should have got that out your system in your 20s, 30s, whatever, and got a whole baby. And then, you know, the fact that she burst out in tears lets me know that this man knew. He knew not to ask her that. He knew not to ask her that. You know that your woman don't want to do that. Because she would have probably suggested it by now. Like, who? You know what? I'm done.
I don't know.
It's layered.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I feel like I mean, I
this is
appreciate the
ridiculous.
context of age and the length of the relationship and things, but I don't know. I was also just watching DR from Detroit and the situation came up. There's usually something more to it.
Right.
So in that situation, they've been trying to have a baby and he had a vasectomy and he didn't tell her. So he tried to open up the relationship. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Oh,
But
wow.
usually there's always something underlying. And I think that a lot of times because people don't want to talk about whatever the issue is, or maybe they don't even know what the issue is, they just know that there's something and they're trying to solve something for themselves. They get to one conclusion. They're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and then like to your point, they're like, okay, but she's not gonna be down for that. Maybe if I can convince her that it's her idea,
Right.
and that she's in control
So
of the
manipulation.
situation,
So manipulation.
trying to manipulate the idea
Yeah.
and how it's received, not necessarily trying to manipulate the person. I mean, but could be, could be. I don't know if we have enough information. It's also, if it's not saying that it's that easy, that is a boundary for you. I don't want to say something that's easy or hard, but if that question leads to the complete demise of your marriage, there's probably something
added to that. I think that was my thing. It's just like over a question, like you would just fill out divorce papers with a 6-month-old and walk away from it, even though he was apologetic, whatever the case may be. I don't know if I would have took it that far. And honestly,
No,
you
I
gonna
wouldn't.
take care of this 6 months though. I'm not leaving till it's at least 2. So we got some things to talk
You
about.
can have the whole baby.
Like,
I don't care. You
I'm
can keep it
like,
forever.
go help that with those kids.
Go help that.
With those kids. Like, I don't know. I just think that she could have better communicated or like tried to figure something out. I don't think that it was worth leaving your entire marriage behind. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And then we talk about values about like, you know, how much value did you put, what is a marriage to you? And like, you know, what are, to death do us part, what did that mean to you? You know, so, and also if people can't facilitate sometimes those conversations, just like I feel like opening up your marriage and polyamory and ethical non-monogamy and all of that is on the uptrend right now, which I think is also important to consider of like where he might be getting that from. So is therapy.
Right.
So I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like people pick and choose what they want to, you know, it's like, oh, you know, what they want to acknowledge.
About.
Yeah, that part. That part. Yes. I definitely agree. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Divorce is probably way extreme, but I mean, she could have just said no and then that be, you know. But I think.
And wait for that man to cheat. Yeah. Then you leave.
Oh, no.
Because alimony.
Hello?
Spousal support.
Like, then you leave. Girl, you gotta. I'm always thinking about that, baby. The money stay right here on my mind. You hear me? But I'm saying for real, you wait for him to cheat. If that's what he want to do, then you move accordingly. But not off the question, girl. You moving wrong. You ain't gonna get nothing.
But that's also something that I feel like I've had this conversation with people that I wasn't even serious about. Like, some men will just ask.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some people will just ask.
But girl, she might have been a freak in the beginning. He ain't need that. You know, you have 2 kids, you married for 7 years, things slow down. Y'all may not be getting intimate. It may be getting boring. Whatever the case may be, I don't know, maybe he got a wandering eye. I'm not giving him no excuses, right? But I'm just saying, things could have drastically changed in their, like, intimacy.
Or
and he could be.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, on the complete flip side of that, their intimacy could be great. Their sex could be great. Like everything about what they're doing could be great. And also you can never be 2 people. So if there are other things that you want to do, you need more hands, you need more mouths, you need more, all of these different things. And it doesn't have to mean, I feel like the second somebody introduces the idea of bringing somebody else, they automatically think they're less than and that the problem is them or their problem is with the intimacy. And maybe there's no problem at all, but maybe it's just they want to try something different and you can't really try. There are certain things that you just can't do unless somebody else is in the room. And then there are also there are different things that you could, but a lot of people don't know that. So if it's just it might just be a reframing thing and figuring out, okay, why did you ask me this? You know, what is this about? Is this about us?
I would have just been like, why would you ask me?
Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to figure out is like, I guess you can never tell anybody how to respond, but just busting out in tears and then filing for a divorce is a bit extreme. Like, extreme. It seems a bit chaotic.
It's a bit dramatic. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I could be jumping the gun here, but I think.
I mean, the gun, consider it jump.
Okay, seriously. So I don't know. I think she could have handled it a little bit better than that.
It's giving build up.
Yeah. I mean, for that type of eruption, I think definitely like. I don't know. I just feel like he knew not to ask that. I don't know. Like, you know your girl. She probably has cried at less. So why would you if she burst out laughing, I mean, she burst out crying like that, like you knew.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
she got a tendency.
Not she's cried at less.
I mean, come
You're
on.
probably correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he knew not to
That's
ask
hilarious.
That.
Yes.
My mind is officially blown, friend.
Yeah. Me too.
I think we probably need to go on vacation after this because
I'm jealous.
I done learned too
talk
much
about vacation.
Going
to Panama in 2
I
days.
Talk about it
The
again.
nerve of you.
I can't wait to
Look at her hair. You could tell.
It's my vacation hair.
I love that.
Well, Zuri, thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you
us
so
today.
much.
We really needed this. And for everybody out there that's watching, please, if you're watching TV like I watch it, go listen to this conversation first.
Right. Exactly. You got a little bit more respect.
Before you hop on the internet and give your think piece that nobody asked for.
Nobody.
Okay, listen to this conversation so you can learn a little bit more about what it takes to be an intimacy coordinator and a little bit about what it takes to be a sex therapist.
Yeah.
We're going to close out here. I hate to see us go, but you know,
Yeah.
we'll be back.
I know.
And, you know, maybe stay tuned. We might be talking about sex on the next episode. You
Hello.
never know.
Jerrilyn gonna talk about
We
it.
love sex.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's not me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching.
She said it for the last time.
We're definitely canceled.